Long ago, humanity thrived on Earth. Cities stretched toward the sky, sunlight reflecting off steel and glass. Streets buzzed with life, children laughed, markets overflowed with color and sound. Scientists and explorers dreamed of the stars, artists painted visions of distant worlds, and philosophers debated morality among the chaos of progress. Life felt infinite, as if the universe itself waited to embrace human ingenuity. And yet, far beyond the atmosphere, in the cold emptiness of space, watchers observed. Towering alien entities drifted silently, their bodies glinting metallic under starlight, eyes glowing like spectral orbs measuring every human movement. They whispered in pulses and vibrations beyond comprehension, conveying a sentiment that chilled even the most audacious human thinker: fragile, insignificant, inconsequential. They saw curiosity as weakness, compassion as naivete, and patience as submission. They assumed one calculated push would bend humanity to their will. And so they waited. Their patience was infinite, their arrogance absolute. They had never faced a species forged in adversity, hardened by millennia of survival against nature, disease, famine, and war. They had never met humans. Humanity did not crumble in the face of devastation. It learned. It adapted. Every loss, every failure, every hardship was stored like fuel for the fire they did not yet perceive. The first subtle signs were small anomalies. Satellites recorded light bursts beyond known cosmic patterns. Explorers reported shadows in deep space where none should exist. Pilots of early interstellar vessels noted strange signals, yet humanity, trusting its knowledge, dismissed them as cosmic interference. Little did we know, every observation we ignored, every anomaly we shrugged off, was a thread in the tapestry the aliens wove, assuming our complacency was weakness. But it was patience. And patience can be the deadliest weapon. First contact occurred unexpectedly. A shimmering vessel appeared above the Pacific Ocean, enormous, silent, alien. Humanity approached cautiously, extending gestures of peace and diplomacy. The aliens, tall, gleaming, and angular, interpreted the gesture as submission. They submit easily. Their pulses whispered to one another. They assumed fear and respect would bend our species. But they misjudged. Every human action carried the latent fire of resistance. Beneath the polite gestures, a storm was gathering, quiet, unseen, unstoppable. Their arrogance escalated. The first strike came with terrifying precision. Alien warships blotted out the sun, beams of energy cutting through clouds, tearing skyscrapers from the ground. Cities burned, oceans vaporized in isolated energy bursts. Humanity screamed. Chaos spread like wildfire. Yet amid destruction, the human spirit did not shatter. Survivors carried the wounded, strangers became allies, and fear became strategy. Every loss was a lesson, every scar a tool for the future. The aliens assumed that crushing the first few cities would break morale. They had underestimated endurance forged over millennia. Deep underground, humanity's leaders convened in hidden bunkers. Holographic star maps stretched across tables, detailing alien positions, fleet strengths, and planetary weaknesses. Every discussion was precise, every decision weighed for survival. Engineers worked day and night constructing hidden fleets, upgrading weapons, and training soldiers in tactics unimagined by ordinary civilians. Humanity was silent in its preparation, yet inside every human heart, hope glimmered, a beacon against despair. Every secret plan, every covert strategy, became a spark of a storm the aliens could not anticipate. When humanity's first counterattack launched, it was meticulous. Orbital strikes targeted alien supply vessels, while stealth fleets crippled energy generators without firing a single shot. The aliens were shocked. They assumed subjugation was inevitable, yet humanity adapted with intelligence beyond prediction. Each strike carried not just technology, but cunning strategy and the essence of a species that had survived the impossible. Alien analysts recalculated constantly, only to find their assumptions always flawed. They had pushed humanity too far, and the spark they had ignored now ignited into a blaze. The war escalated. Planet after planet became battlefields. each encounter a test of resilience, ingenuity, and unity. Humanity, though small in number compared to the vast alien empire, wielded tactics born of history and survival instinct. Every human death became motivation. Every human victory, a lesson engraved in strategy. Alien commanders had never faced an enemy who could learn so rapidly, adapt so unpredictably, and strike so effectively from positions they assumed secure. Humanity's patience had become power, our endurance a weapon, and our unity an unbreakable shield. On the homeworlds of the aliens, panic began to ripple. Reports of failed strikes, sabotaged supply lines, and inexplicable human tactics spread like wildfire. Their confidence eroded, replaced by fear they had not felt in eons. They had believed intelligence and firepower sufficient. They had not considered creativity, unpredictability, and the indomitable will of a species forged in adversity. Humanity, once presumed fragile, now towered as an unstoppable force, a legend born in the crucible of attack and resistance. Yet the story twisted further. Humanity did not strike merely to destroy. We sought to teach, to warn, to claim respect where arrogance had reigned. Alien fleets attempting to annihilate human colonies were met with calculated countermeasures, crippling strikes, and precision attacks that spared civilians whenever possible. Our message became clear: do not underestimate, do not oppress, and above all, do not push humanity too far. Every engagement, every maneuver, carried the dual weight of survival and principle. All across the galaxy, civilizations watched. Alien empires who had once looked upon humanity with disdain now reconsidered their judgment. A species small in numbers, but vast in resolve, intelligence, and ingenuity, had proven that endurance combined with patience is more potent than raw strength. The tales of human resistance and counterstrike spread, whispered in interstellar corridors and communicated via subtle signals. Humanity became a symbol, a warning and a beacon simultaneously. As the final conflicts approached, Alien Command realized that victory was no longer possible through intimidation. Negotiations began, but they were structured not as surrender to power, but as recognition of intelligence, endurance, and moral authority. Humanity dictated terms, not as conquerors, but as guardians and representatives of a species whose patience had been tested to its limit. Alien fleets withdrew, not in humiliation but in recognition of a force they had never fully understood. The finale was silent yet overwhelming. Humanity stood united, stronger, wiser, and unbroken. Earth glowed like a beacon in space, reminding all of the journey from vulnerability to legend. Our legacy was not only survival but transformation. The species that had been underestimated had become the standard by which patience, endurance, and ingenuity would be measured across the stars. We had shown that being pushed too far does not mean collapse. It means awakening, a force of nature impossible to ignore. And so the universe learned, quietly and irrevocably, that patience is not weakness, endurance is not submission, and hope is a weapon no enemy can destroy. Humanity, once observed and dismissed, now stood as a sentinel, a reminder, and a legend. We survived. We adapted. We endured. And we had warned them all. Push humanity too far, and the consequences will be eternal.